Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 3 November 2022, the first knife sale of November, and the last one to air at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Next week will be on Standard Time. How about that? We got a big one for you tonight, and it's a many and varied selection. Before we get into the meat of the sale, let's do a little housekeeping as usual. First up, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale, which I will post on the screen for you forthwith. I'll also reprint them in the description underneath this video. Especially if you're new to this weekly sales event, please take some time to become familiar with the terms. On that topic, above the terms of the sale down in the description, you're going to see 3 links to previous videos on the channel. At the very top, you'll see one entitled A Primer for Buyers. That one is a 38-minute expanded explanation of the terms of the sale. So if you are a noob, please give that video a watch before you embroil yourself in sale time frenzy. It'll help immeasurably. The second link you're going to see is to my FAQs for Consignors video. That one explains how it all works from the consignors perspective. So if you're interested in using this weekly sale to move along some of your collection, give that one a watch. And then the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So yes, the description, the all-important description, contains those 3 links at the top, then the terms of the sale, then at the very bottom, the reason you all came tonight, the list of tonight's inventory complete, with timestamps on the left, pricing on the right. In the pricing column, you'll generally see 2 numbers. The one to the left of the slash is the price of the knife as shown. The one on the right, the price of the knife as sharpened by the TheApostleP Knife Service. And I think there will be no next day sharpening this week, on Friday, tomorrow, the 4th, because I think I'm going to be in the dealership service department most of the morning, getting some service done on the new old CRV. So expect your sharpened knife to ship in about 3 weeks this week. If you see the word sold in lieu of pricing in that right column, that means that knife has been bought and paid for by its new owner. No need to send an I'll take it for a knife marked sold. I think that's about it for housekeeping. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you now. And we'll be right back with the terms of the sale, or with the inventory, the meat of the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we got a few leftovers from last week. The first of which will come in this rather nondescript box that might say Columbia River Knife and Tool on the inside of the lid, but we do not have a CRKT knife. We have a classic from the Benchmade Knife Company. This, I think, is the 2nd or 3rd iteration of the Benchmade AFCK, a classical tactical folder from Benchmade, still heavily influenced by Emerson design at this point. I love this Parkerized Emerson style clip that shows a little bit of bronzing underneath that Parkerized coating, which is just cool. The G10 looks factory fresh for a 20 or so year old knife. It's going to have an axis lock, which is the main evolutionary feature on this AFCK. They were originally liner locks. This was a big improvement in the design. Whoops. Oval hole opening. Sal protested. So we have a blade that appears to be DLC coded. I could be wrong. First production run of the Axis AFCK number 859 of 1000. I got a D2 blade, 3 15/16 inches long. Axis lock mechanism, hefty stainless steel liners. Looks like an FRN backspacer. Handle length is 5 3/8. Lockup is dead rock solid. Action silky smooth. Centering is just about dead. Very near mint in box. Sold listings on eBay for a knife like this, even production models included, not just first production. Sold listings between $360 and $700. Now we don't have a box with this one, but still. We ran it last week at $325. It didn't sell. We dropped it to $275 for the weekend. Still here. My seller has instructed me that $250 is the price. If it does not do that, there will be no Saturday price reduction. It will go home. Guys, it ought to do that. $250 like it is. $270 sharpened. Benchmade 806 SBK. AFCK Axis. Next up, this one is going to come without factory packaging, but it does have this rather cool zipper top nylon belt pouch. It's also Velcro. The knife from Crusader Forge. You are looking at, I guess that's a flat dark earth, milled G10 scale. Look at the size of the hardware in this beast. Then you've got kind of a bead blasted and then bronze anodized business side and clip. Just a couple little tiny marks in the corners of the clip. And that's about it for the wear on this knife. Out of that handle comes this thing. And I'm not sure what this coating is, if it's like a Cerakote product or whether it's a kind of a variegated DLC, but my goodness, is it good looking. The blade on this thing is S30V, 4 1/8 inches long. It is a hollow saber with a very robust tip. The titanium frame lock locks up thusly, no steel insert. It is dead rock solid. Blade centering pretty doggone good. Condition near mint, no box. We ran this last week at $350. Got no takers, dropped it to $320 for the weekend. It's still here. The last price you're going to see on this one, guys, is tonight's price. $300 like it is, $325 with an ApostleP edge. That is the Crusader Forge FIFP. Fear is for prey. Next up, I am shocked, befuddled, and dumbfounded that this knife is still here. It is a Microtech, and it is a combat Troodon double-edged with bronzed apocalyptic blade and hardware. Man, what a stunning blade. There is your black hard anodized aluminum handle. There's your bronze hardware. There's your bronze glass breaker, your bronze clip. So it's like a bead blast, a tumble, and an ano, right? That's your apocalyptic finish. And then check this out, boys. Yeah. There is your double-edged dagger blade. All apocalyptic bronze, but you've got like a coarse tumbled blast on your bevels and then a satin on the flats. Very cool. Blade steel on this one is M390. Blade length 3 3/4. 5 1/4 handle. Button effort, firm. Reliability, 100%. This will wear your thumb out watching the movie, just saying. Condition will be near mint. Now we're going to call this like new in box. These are out of stock right now, currently at all web retailers. When they were last available, they were $545 web, new. We ran this last week at $480. It did not sell. We dropped it to $450 for the weekend. It is still here. Your price this week, $425. That's got to be the cheapest one of these on the planet. $425. No need to sharpen that dagger blade. That is the Microtech Combat Troodon DE for double edge. Next up, we have, I think this is a Yeni eyewear sunglasses case with a paper towel inside. Because there's no original box with the South African custom knife. There is, however, a certificate of authenticity from Jason Guthrie Custom Knives of South Africa. It is the Rover in marbled carbon fiber, knife number 19, built for January 2019. Blade steel is M390. Here is the stunning little gents folder. There is your marbled carbon fiber. Notice the milled dimples on the titanium liner that are visible through the holes in the handle. So it's a titanium liner blasted, and then with a little tiny ball end mill, all those little Starfield dimples are put in, and then it's anodized blue, and those show off bright. Very cool. Same theme going on the titanium pocket clip with the maker's mark here. Just some very faint pocket burnishing on the clip. One liner that operates the lock. I got phosphor bronze washers and thumb stud, single-sided for the right-hander. You have sort of a Razel style blade, but the front edge is blunt. Hand rub satin finish. M390 blade 2 and 5/16 inches in length. The handle is 3.5. There's your adornment on that titanium liner. The locking leaf portion. There's your lock engagement. It is dead rock solid. Action is smooth but not particularly free. Blade centering is going to be right down the middle. We'll call this near mint, no box. This knife was $1,200 new from the maker. We ran it last week at $850, got no takers. Dropped it to $750 for the weekend, still here. This week it can be yours at $695, guys. $695 like it is. $715 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Jason Guthrie Rover. Next up, how is this still here? From Cold Steel, back in the Lynn Thompson era, we have a Holdout 2. Not just any Holdout 2, but a CTS XHP Holdout 2. Now this is in sort of that newer style, smoother but still peel ply carbon fiber, much more pocket friendly. Got the tip up ambidextrous pocket clip, triad lock, 3 13/16 inches of satin finished XHP with the full serrated edge. Blade length is 3 13/16, handle 5 3/16. This has a very deeply engaged triad lock, so it's not much of a flinger. I mean, you got to push that thing all the way down to release it. It's really more for security than speed, and a very strong spring. The blade's nice and free and smooth. Centering is going to be a little to the left as you're looking at it. Does it care? Yeah, it's still a little to the left. Very near mint, in box. I don't think you can buy these anymore. The Taiwan-made XHP holdouts. I see them discontinued, not a stock. We ran this last week for $100. Didn't sell, dropped it to $85 for the weekend. It's still here. This week, $75. No need to sharpen on the Cold Steel Holdout 2. Next up, now this is a leftover, but be careful here on this one, guys. We have two of these, two of them. From Columbia River Knife and Tool by way of Maniago, Italy, at the Lion Steel factory, we have a very special CRKT. It comes in a leather pouch. It goes in thusly. It wraps up. It ties. You know, pretty luxurious for a CRKT. But again, not just any CRKT, is it? This is the Ken Onion design. Motley. It's very onion-esque. And it's very lion steel. You've got that super fine milling in the 3D machine titanium handle. Carbon fiber inlays, kind of that organic Ken Onion-y kind of thing going on. I love how the carbon fiber kind of acts as an over travel stop for the axis or the lock bar. Very, very cool knife. 5 1/4 inches of handle. Whoops, it's better than that. The detent's just fine. That was just me misfiring. Sleipner steel blade. 3 7/8 of onioniness. Beautiful satin finish. It is a ball bearing flipper, inserted titanium frame lock. Centering is going to be dead. We will say that this one is... You're meant to like a new in box. These are still in stock new for $4.25 at your favorite web retailer. We ran this last week at $2.95. It didn't sell. On Saturday, we dropped it down to $2.50. It's still here. This week, $2.25 like it is, $2.55 with my edge on it. On the Sleipner steeled CRKT Onion Motley. This is going to be in your inventory as number 1. Number 1, because we have a fresh one coming up later in the sale. CRKT Onion Motley, number 1. Next up, from Toor Knives, the model is the Chasm. Very cool box, guys. Very cool box. Got your magnetic flip top. Got the microfiber cloth. Got a beautiful closed cell foam insert. We got some frog lube. We got some warranty information. And a super cool knife. I mean, super cool. Made in America. I think that is an aqua Cerakote over a titanium handle. And man, is that thing light. So, and then we got a titanium clip, bronze anodized titanium hardware, thumb stud knife, 2 15/16 inch recurve blade in 154 cm, handle length 4 1/8. The handle shape very Sebenza-esque, wouldn't you say? Very nice in the hand, and I bet you I can almost come forward without sticking myself. Very cool. What I love about it, phosphor bronze washers and thumb studs that fire out like a rocket. How about that? Perfect flicking geometry. There's your lock engagement. Dead rock solid. Blade centering. Perfecto. So yeah, 2 15/16 blade, 4 1/8 handle. Like new in the box. Price of this knife brand new, street retail, $200. You can buy this one for $160, like it is, $185 with an Apostle P edge. Very nice package. The Toor Knives Chasm. Next up, we have an OG in the house from the Kershaw Knife Company. Knife made in the United States of America. It is the 1670 BW Blur. BW for black wash. I got a black hard anodized aluminum handle, 6061 T6 variety. Tractech inserts for traction. The old Kershaw clip, which will be tip up or down right hand. Speed-safe spring assist mechanism with the greatest thumb studs in the history of pocket knives. Oh yeah. 14C28N blade. Rock solid lockup. There's your engagement. Perfect speed-safe action. Perfect blade centering condition. Like new in the box. Maybe near mint. Maybe like new. Maybe. Price of these is brand new, and they are in stock at your favorite web retailer for $75 plus tax plus shipping. Or you could just buy this one. I pay the shipping. There's no sales tax. Your price? $50. 50. 70 with my edge. That's the Kershaw 1670 BW Blur. Next up, oh guys, I just want to buy this and sell mine because this one is so cool. From Zero Tolerance, ZT, we have, and it's a 640 Emerson. But it's not just any 640 Emerson. Here's the factory scale from one side. This is the special Blades We Love rendition of the 640, wearing OD canvas micarta scales, original in box. The titanium frame and the titanium clip have all been anodized with a pastel bronze. Oh. We have a knife that is an Emerson design. It is a sort of hybrid between the Viper and the Gentleman Jim. Handle, Viper, blade, Gentleman Jim. Oh, yeah. Whew. CPM 20 CV, 3 3/4 of blade, 4 13/16 inches of handle. It is a steel inserted titanium frame lock with scales, right? There's your engagement. These all seem to lock up early, but they're all solid. This one too. Super smooth phosphor bronze washer action. Perfect blade centering. Lightning fast deployment on washers. Super stable, super strong. Love these knives. Oh, we'll call it like new in the box. Price of these brand new at Blades We Love is $275 with the aforementioned adornments. This one can be yours. $220 like it is, $245 with my edge on it. Oh my. I like that bronze going on. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Whew. That's the ZT0640 BWL for Blades We Love. Next up, here's a company that's got just a little bit of traction in the knife community. From the Tactile Knife Company, we have a thumb stud version of the Rockwall titanium scales Magna Cut blade at RC61 for hardness, assembled by Jack Moss, January 20th of this year. Just a sweet little gents folder. You got your finely milled titanium scales, your tip up right hand deep carry pocket clip. I've got ball bearings and thumb studs, boys. There's your little Magna Cut blade. 3 inches, 4 inches of handle. Liner lock mechanism. There's your engagement. Lockup is dead rock solid. Hard to make that little light blade drop shot, but it does. Centering will be like dead down the middle. What a great little flicker, man. I'll tell you what. Beautiful little knife. Like new in the box. These are super hot, guys. Web price of these brand new. If you can find one, $300. This one can be yours at $260, like it is. $285 with my edge on the Magna Cut. That's the Tactile Rockwall. Next up, we got one from Finch. Finch Knives. From Stillwell, Kansas is the company. I'm not sure where the manufacturing is done, but I don't think it's in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Anyhow, we've got the Drifter This one is scaled in sapphire blue micarta, 154 cm blade. Satin and stonewash finish. Oh, made in China. Who knew? There we go. You got your Finch shield inlaid into that sapphire blue canvas micarta. Got some brass pivot collars. I got a flipper on bearings and a pretty sweet little clip point blade, don't you think? So satin flats, stonewash, satin bevels and swedge, stonewash flats. Blade length is 2 3/4, handles 3 5/8. I got a stainless steel liner lock engaged thusly. It is rock solid. Ball bearings. Centering, oh, it's going to favor the lock side. How'd that happen? Let's see. I bet I can make it go down the middle. What do you boys think? Let's get out our T8 very carefully. Got a little Loctite. There we go. You love watching me do this, don't you? Oh, man. Well, it's closer. It's just favoring the spring side ever so slightly. But, you know, hey, it's a Finch. Let's see. Let's do like new in box. Price of this brand new at your favorite web retailer will be $129. Let's sell this one for $90. Ooh, titanium milled pocket clip. So $90 like it is. $110 if you'd like it with an Apostle P edge. That is the Finch Drifter. Next up, we have a box that says CRKT on it. But inside the box comes this rather special leather pouch. Oh, let's see if we can open him up. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, that, boys, is not your average CRKT. Actually, the second of this model we've had in the sale tonight. Every now and then, CRKT wants to do something special. They call up the boys in Maniago at Lion Steel and said, could you make us a knife a whole lot better than we make? And they say, sure. Here we go. To commemorate several years of wonderful collaboration with one Ken Onion, CRKT has released the Motley. And this is being in your inventory as Motley number 2, because we had a leftover from last week. It is a decidedly Ken Onion designed knife. That beautifully and finely milled titanium as only Lion Steel can do it. Some rather cool ink blot looking carbon fiber inlays. And the lock side actually uses that inlay as an over travel stop for the lock bar, which is cool. I have a tip up ambi pocket clip. I got a ball bearing flipper that flips with authority. I got a satin blade, beautiful recurve clip point, sort of a harpoon clip, Sleipner steel. Blade length is 3 7/8, handles 5 1/4. There is your lock engagement. It'd be rock solid. There's your drop shot. There's your perfect centering. How about that? Condition, how about like new in box? Let's see, $425. These cost brand new at your favorite web knife retailer. Let's do on this one $260 like it is, $285 with an Apostle P edge. That is CRKT Onion Motley number 2. Next up, we have one from Kizer in the old clamshell box with the sleeve and the envelope and all that good stuff. This is the Kizer Cormorant. Cormorant? Is that a bird? I think it is. Very cool handle scale. So we've got layered black and white G10, with the black milled out to reveal the white in those 3 fullers or stripes or whatever you want to call them. And very interesting, I got a oval hole to open, or I got a front flipper if I didn't suck at front flipping. But, you know, let not your heart be troubled. There's also a low profile spine side flipper. How about that? That works really well. There's a detent in that button lock mechanism too. Not just the, it's like a strong detent. Very well done. We have a, that, you know, if that had a round hole, that'd look like a Spyderco blade. I got hollow ground, S35VN, 3 3/16 inches of blade, and then 4 1/4 inches of handle. Rock solid button lock, up. Super free ball bearing action. Blade centering on the Cormorant is perfect. I've got an ambidextrous tip up deep carry clip. Like new in the box, and a perfect example. Price of these online at your favorite web retailer will be $119 plus tax. This one will run you $85, shipped priority mail, all in. $105 with my edge on it. That is the Kizer Cormorant. Next up, from way downtown, I got one from a Civivi. It is the Charlie 2103 Charlie button lock Elementum in dark green micarta with black stainless steel liners. Here we go. The Elementum. It's just a plain Jane, beautiful little pocket knife. There is your canvas micarta. There is your button lock. There is your ambidextrous deep carry tip-up pocket clip. Notice, no flipper, no thumb studs. It's just a button lock flinger. You fling it, and you fling it. How about that? And that thing's locked, man. It's locked closed. How about that? Safe, nice and safe. Got an acid stonewash blade, 14C28N, 3.5 inches long. The handle, 4.5. Black liners. Look at that lanyard post in the back spacer so it doesn't interfere at all if you're not using a lanyard. Very cool. Action centering, lockup, all perfect. Condition, like new in the box. Let's see if I can find a mark on it. I don't think I could. Nope. It's pristine. Let's see. Price of these online, brand new, at your favorite website will be $66 plus tax and postage. This one can be yours, $50, like it is $70 with my edge. Civivi C2103C, Elementum BL for button lock. Next up, I teased you about this one yesterday, guys. You know what I've always said. I will never, never, ever, never, never, ever, never, ever own a Chinese knife that I pay more than $30 for. Doggone it, because I kind of like this one. From Civivi, first fixed blade Civivi I've ever seen. It is the Charlie 19046-2 Tamashii with OD green G10 handle, satin finish D2 blade, and a Kydex sheath with a tech lock. What the heck? First, just take a look at the sheath. Very nicely made. Big drain hole. It's got a Civivi branded tech lock-like device. It appears to be very well made. Inside that sheath resides this knife, designed by, can you guess? One Robert Terzula. Man, that D2 is nicely finished. I got a little tiny Kydex scratch On one side only. Nice gutted paracord lanyard, box lanyard. Super good in hand. You got some jimping forward if you're so inclined to get up there. Beautiful swedge. 4 1/16 blade, 4 3/4 handle. By the way, this is a hidden full tang. I don't know if you can see it, but those are two pieces of G10 that are hafted to look like one. So that is precisely a precisely milled pocket to accept the blade tang and then wrap it in G10. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. So I was gonna call it like new, but those little tiny Kydex scuffs right here are gonna make me say near mint. Doesn't matter. Price of these brand new, and I believe they are in stock, $67 plus tax and postage at your favorite web retailer. This one can be yours $50. Shipped all in, $50. $75 if you'd like my edge on it. That's the Civivi C19046-2 Tamashii. Next up, I think this is the second one of these I've ever seen. Somebody's copying. Somebody is a copycat. It's a tube that holds a traditional slip joint pocket knife, but it ain't a GEC. This is from Cooper Cutlery, and this is their Battle Axe brand, which is an old brand name that they've revived. These are made in Winchester, Ohio. And I think somewhere there's a knife that goes with all that. Well, there is. Check this out, boys. Oh, that is a big knife. It's kind of a Coke bottle. Let me open the blade so you can kind of see the profile. That is 5 3/16 inches of handle there. And I don't know if I would classify the bolsters and end caps brass or nickel silver. Nickel silver is brass with a lot of nickel in it. These are yellowing pretty quickly unless they were yellow to begin with. Okay? And then brass liners that are just a little more golden than the exterior hardware. Beautiful green jig bone covers. I hope that's a pin shield, but that's your Battle Axe shield. Then you got this. A swashbuckler of a clip point blade. Long match striker pull, full flat ground. You got a gilt etch, and then in black in the middle, the Conqueror. It is a cam tang knife. I'm going to call it a 7-pull. And it's a slightly notchy cam tang. And if you look at the surface of that cam tang, it's just a little not smooth. And you feel it just a little bit. But pretty good walk and talk. Centering is going to be off to the left a bit. Condition, I'm going to call it like new in tube. My seller paid $180 for this. They're kind of hard to find to source, but they made 100, I believe, in each cover, and the blade steel is $440 unspecified. He paid $180 for it. We're going to sell this at $125 like it is. $145 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Cooper Cutlery Battle Axe Folding Hunter. Time to turn the page. Okay, next up. We have one from Great Eastern Cutlery, the Northfield Unexcelled Bullet. This bullet knife is a 65 Ben Hogan, model 651122, in Indian paintbrush jigged bone with the Northfield bullet button. And here's the knife. Now you guys know, if you're GEC fans, that GEC does not always get along well with the color red when it comes to die and bone, but look at this one. Not a hint of pink anywhere. There's your bullet shield, triple lined and pinched bolsters, plain end caps, 7-pull on the long clip point blade with the long pull and the cut swedge. Perfect walk and talk. Four and 9/16 inches of closed length. 1095 blade. It's beautiful. I'm going to call the centering very close on this one. Condition, I'm going to call like new in tube with button. Your price on this is going to be $175 like it is. $195 with my edge on it. That's the GEC Northfield. Number 65, Ben Hogan. Next up, for all you lovers of stubby, fat, monster pull GEC knives, this is your moment. This is your moment. Uh-oh, I think you know what that means. I do know that the handle covers are made from genuine North American cattle bone. It is the model 363122 toenail clipper in blood red jig bone. And you've got your American cattle bone button. And here's your knife. Guys, the jigging, check it out. It's got a little roofline thing going on. It's like a little peach seed roofline thing, and it's really pretty. Plain end cap, or plain bolsters, no end caps, bare end. How's that square end hafted? Pretty well. So let's see. 1095 blades, 4 1/4 inches closed. Pull weight, an 8.5. But not any more than that. So it's actually usable. Beautiful sheep's foot blade. Got your Northfield etch. Long pull cut swedge. Perfect walk and talk. Centering is dead. Like new in the tube. Sold listing prices on eBay for this model and this cover between $170 and $230. Sold listings. Your price on this one's going to be $185 like it is. $205 if you'd like my edge on it. That's the GEC Northfield number 36 toenail clipper. Next up, I teased you about this one yesterday. Look at that sheath. Would you look at the tooling on that leather? Man, that is just a thing of beauty. And obviously wet formed. Super nice. This is from Arrows Knives. A-E-R-O-S Knives custom camp knife. So out of that sheath, here we go. We've got a spear point blade, saber flat ground, and then I think that is a faux treatment to sort of emulate brute de forge on the flats. So I think it's some heat treat scale and then some sort of slash cuts done maybe with a cut-off wheel. I don't know. But it looks pretty good. Polished flats. Blade length is 5 1/4 and the blade steel is 02. So that is a that is a super tough oil hardening tool steel. Handle length is 4 5/8 and it is a hybrid wood and acrylic product. Probably a, I would say, blue and tan elder burl or something like that. Black liners. Polished perimeter on the blade tang, beautiful. And then you got your sort of rough-hewn 90-degree spine, suitable for striking a fire steel. Let's see. Let's go on this one. Let's do $300 like it is. $330 if you'd like it with an ApostleP edge. That's the Arrows Knives custom camp knife. Next up, oh, this is my save me from myself moment, guys. It truly is. It's a hole in my collection. I had one of these in a different handle color. I just didn't ever like the color, but save me guys. From the Great Eastern Cutlery Farm and Field tool line, we've got a number 21 Bull Buster. Model 215119er in O degree linen, micarta. A nice tasteful leather thong lanyard. There's your OD linen. I'm such a sucker for some linen micarta. The polished pivot rivet. I got a perfectly centered blade between these steel liners. I got a pull weight of 8.5. Walk and talk, got some. Thunk. It's like perfectly tight. What a beast. What a beast. 4 9/16 close but on this thing. Apparently these are kind of hard to get. The blade steel is $10.95, by the way. It's like new in the tube. I found no sold listings for these on eBay. I found one current listing. Some dude in Europe wants $299 on a buy it now plus like $18 in shipping. How about we just do $150 for this one? $170 with my edge. That's the GEC Farm and Field number 21 Bullbuster. Don't wait, I could change my mind. Next up, ooh, one of my favorite stories in knife lore. I love it when a company releases a knife. It's super well engineered. It's a great pocket knife. For some reason, nobody buys it. They sell for like 60% of original web retail when you sell them used. And then they discontinue them. And the prices go through the roof. And we have such a knife here today. It looks like it might be in the wrong box. It's the right period box, but I don't think Benchmade crossed everything out and wrote 781. So I'm just saying. Here we go, guys. It's an anthem. You knew it was coming. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh. Chevron or herringbone milled titanium handle. Interesting spine treatment on the integral titanium handle because the dimple pattern hides the screws for the cartridge coil spring axis lock mechanism. I have a titanium milled sort of matching pattern clip. It's going to be ambidextrous tip up. I got sort of an acid stonewash 20 CV blade, 3 7/16 inches in length. It's kind of like a broader 943 blade. This knife has a lot of Warren Osborne in it, even though it doesn't bear his name. Cool thumb studs that are removable if you got the right torque stud tool. There's your axis bar, your cartridge axis lock in there. See the coil spring? Great mechanism. Ball bearings, thumb studs. Perfect flicking geometry. This one is going to favor ever so slightly the right side. Action and lockup, both perfect. A very slight amount of pocket wear. I think I found, yeah, right on the end of the clip. And then the knife's been used a little. So I got some edge wear, and it's just ever so slightly tipped. That would come out with just a normal sharpening. But a super nice example mechanically. Of course, they're discontinued. They're out of stock. Sold listings on eBay. Actual transacted deals between $430 and $835. This one can be yours. $400, all in, shipped priority mail. $425. You'd like my edge on it, and it'll have a pristine tip if I do. The Benchmade 781 Anthem. That is the Rob's pick for tonight's sale. Next up, this one is in your inventory as Benchmade 943 BK plus. Let's talk about why. This is kind of cool if you're a Benchmade head and you have like a whole collection of 940 variants, but you don't have this one. Comes in the early 2010s style slider box. Kind of a later model with the foam insert. You got your literature, your baggie, all that stuff. And there you'll see 943 BK. Then I've got this bag of stuff. Let's see if I want you to see this. It might have personal information on it. I think it's all good. What's that say? What? What? It's an REK reblade. So you get that. And then here is your factory handle with backspacer, clip, no guts, okay? And it's got a little bit of mileage on it. And then you've got the original blade. And I think that's got my edge on it, what's left of one anyway. Well, it's not bad, just a couple little tiny nicks, probably strap right up. So that's what the knife started out as in life. And obviously I've sharpened it. There's some more hardware here for the MXG gear clip. Are you kidding me? So wait till you see this, guys. You're not going to believe it. So this is basically a whole knife except the liners, the partial liners, and the axis lock, right? Because those are reused in what you're going to see now. This is so cool. I'm sorry if this is going to take a little longer than a usual segment for one knife, but here you go. That is a Flytanium handle in stonewashed titanium. There is your deep carry MXG clip. You're going to be right hand only. Thank you for saving me. There is your REK reblade. Kind of Insingo-y, isn't it? M390. Yep. That's pretty cool, I gotta say. That's really cool. On the stock washers, action's beautiful. So's the centering, and so's the lockup. Very cool. So for all that, you get, and I'm going to call it near mint in box, but this part of the knife is really like new. So let's see. For everything you see here, everything in the bag and the box, $550 like it is, $575 with my edge on it. That's the Benchmade 943 BK plus. Next up, I got a real beast from ZT. The knife inside the box will be a 452 CF Sinkovich NS35 VN. There is your carbon fiber scale. Let's see, how long is that? 5 1/8. Deep carry clip that's got a little bit of battle wear on it, a little bit of boba. Not much. Deep carry, ambidextrous tip up. Got a titanium frame lock with a steel insert. I got a ball bearing flipper. No death lock, fingers on lock bar. Out she flips. There you go. Now, I did sharpen this at some point, but I think it's been used quite a bit since I sharpened it, so it probably could use a refresh. I'm sure it'll still cut. There's your lock engagement. It's rock solid. Droppy shutty. Blade centering might favor the lock side just slightly. So we'll call this excellent in box. Let's do 180 like it is. 200 with a refresh on that ApostleP edge. It's the ZT0452CF. Next up, got one from Microtech. Oh yeah. Inside the box is an Ultratech single-edged blue handle. What a stunning, just simply beautiful knife. Gorgeous hard blue anodized finish on the aluminum handle. Got the black hardware, the black clip. This one built December 20th of last year. Some very, very slight wear on the edge of the clip. Carbide glass breaker, little lanyard hole. I'm going to call the button effort on this medium firm. Got a 3 5/16 blade in Bowler M390, two-tone variety. Pretty good Microtech factory edge. Doesn't appear to have ever cut anything. Blade length 3 5/16, handles 4 3/4, plus the glass breaker. These are sold out, as they always are. Last pricing for a knife like this one would have been $295 web retail. Let's do $250 on this one, $275 with my edge. It's the Microtech Ultratech SE for single edge. Next up, oh my. I just want you to take a minute and let this sink in. Demko Knives, custom build, performance first, and this is kind of like when it was Andrew in his garage in Wampum, Pennsylvania. That indicating the blade steel CPM 3V. This, guys, is the OG AD20. When I say OG, look at your stamped pivot, Demko Knives, and then Wampum, PA. So you've got your diamond checkered gray G10 handle scales, shark lock, ball bearing pivot, clip point blade in 3V, and this one has a polished edge, and it's a pretty nice one. Rock solid shark lock lockup, beautiful action. How about some dead centering? 5-inch handle, 3 5/8 inches of blade. Very nice piece, and kind of a piece of history, I think. It is the OG AD20. It is unobtainium. Can't find them nowhere. We did find some sold listings on Reddit that indicate this is going to be a very good price. $650. $650 on the Demko AD20 OG. No need to sharpen. Next up, did Spyderco make too many of these? Because I think this is going to be way too cheap. It is a Spyderco from Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. It's a paramilitary 2 in crew wear, wearing natural canvas micarta handle scales. You know, if this were a sprint run with normal production, these knives would be selling for like $225, but they're everywhere. So somebody gets a deal. There's your natural canvas. It doesn't even have any hand oil, and it doesn't even have the clip flipped yet. The action is fine. It's just not quite free dropping. It just needs, if I were going to have a new one, and this is essentially a new one, I'd rather have it like that and just let it sort of start to drop free over time with use. But anyway, rock solid lockup. Centering is going to be dead. Condition like new in the box. So let's see. There's a lot of these in sold listings on eBay between $145 and $190. We're going to do $150 on this brand new knife. 150 like it is, 170 sharpened on the Crusader Paramilitary 2. Next up, oh boys, it's another Spidey. It's another one from Golden. It's the granddaddy. It's the big old military. The big old military. I see some burnt orange G10. I see a black coated deep carry titanium clip, original clip in the box. And I see a blade of CPM Rex 45. Now, it looks to me like somebody has attempted to put a polished edge on this, and they did get to the apex, but they kind of, I could see what happened, because I've sharpened some Rex 45. They got tired, and they left some factory grind lines, and they were probably bearing down a little too hard as they got to the tip, because it's slightly rounded. But let's see mechanically. Perfect lockup, right where you want it on a milli. Nice free action. Perfect blade centering. I'm going to call this near mint in box. It is a sprint run. They're unobtainium. They're long out of stock. There's one of these currently listed on eBay at a $400 buy it now. No sold listings. There can't be many out there available. Your price on this one, not $400, not $350, $275, and then $300, and I sort of perfect that edge. That's the Spyderco Military BOR for burnt orange Rex 45. Next up, from Hoback Knives. Back in the day when Jake was just making knives, not being confusing, and doing great work. Comes in the slide top box, the 23rd Psalm referenced under his brand name, his commitment to quality, all that good stuff. Seems like there's a bunch of wrenches in here. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Cool box, cool knife. We'll get to that here in a second. Get out of my way. There. This is like a dressy Quayback, right? Beautifully fullered, fluted carbon fiber. Not a void to be found. Big hourglass standoffs. Even an inlay on the lock side. The Hoback axe. Oh, ambidextrous, baby. So I got a steel inserted titanium frame lock. I got a ball bearing flipper. I got a Tonto blade in stonewashed CPM crew wear. This one has been stropped by its owner, and it's pretty bitey, I must say. 3 5/8 inches of blade, 5 1/4 inches of handle. You got the Hoback rolling detent, so you can tune that detent to your OCD flipping fingers heart's desire. This one is perfect, as is for me. Got to get past the detent, however, to drop it shut. There we go. Lockup's perfect, action's perfect, centering looks perfect. Condition is like new in box but stropped. Tried to find some pricing references. It was a little bit hard to pull together on eBay, but if you look at this knife in carbon fiber and you're looking at the old real Hoback vintage, right? They seem to be selling between 500 and 800 sold listings on eBay. This one can be yours. A superb example, $425 like it is, $450 with my edge. That's the Hoback Quayback. Next up, here's a brand, guys, that I must tell you I've never heard of. It's a Herman Knives Dragonfly, and it's marketed and sold by Polish Custom Knives. Okay, so you get this box, a sort of bad imitation of a Pelican. I've seen it before, right? Got lots of foam, and then a lot of literature about Polish custom knives. Some of it even in English. And then I got a thick Polish knives card. I know nothing about these. I will tell you though, it's a pretty cool knife. This is the Herman Knives Dragonfly. Beautiful sort of double sunburst milling in the titanium. And I want you to look at the screw ends. Those protrude at an absolutely precise height, and then they are polished domed on the ends. I think that is a Damascus floating backspacer, clip milled and contoured to match the handle. Ball bearing flipper. Blade length 3 15/16 inches of glass beaded M390 and a sexy clip point with a cool swedge. This has an owner applied polished edge that's quite good. It is a liner lock ball bearing flipper, and I think that locking leaf is steel because I don't see an insert, which works for me. Nice strong lock tension, but still nice free action. Beautiful centering. And check this out, guys. I got a proprietary pivot driver head, and look what's in the box. In a little plastic baggie. The pivot tool. How about that? And it works. I've used it. I surely did. Locks in beautifully. That's pretty cool detail. So yeah, ball bearing flipper, stainless steel liner lock, beautiful knife. I mean beautiful. Yeah. So anyway, we'll call it near mint in box, sharpening noted. These are sold listings on eBay between $600 and $800 for similar knives in this sort of model family. This one can be yours at $500, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That's the Herman Knives Dragonfly. Next up, from Kizer, clamshell box, envelope, you know the routine. This is a Knife Center exclusive Kizer KI4488E1 Sheepdog. A couple versions of this available. This is the black and gray linen micarta. There's a black canvas version that is cheaper at Knife Center, but this is the black and gray linen. It might just be all black linen, I don't know. It sure looks black and gray to me. You've got beautiful brass pivot collars, big old flipper tab, the big old sheepdog blade in stonewashed, wait for it, CPM 4V. And I think this got a little edge work, yeah, from the seller. Got a little bit of schmutz near the tip of the blade. Not scratches, just tape goo. Why didn't you clean that off, dummy? Okay. The edge pretty sharp, but could be refined a little. It's going to cut just fine. You might want to leave it alone. So yeah, you've got 3 3/8 inches of 4V. Handle length is 4 3/8. Milled titanium clip. Stainless steel liner lock ball bearing flipper. Man, I didn't get any tape goo off that blade. Sorry about that, guys. There's your lock engagement. Dead rock solid. Flipping action you already saw. It's beautiful. Centering is very close. So let's see. These retail at the only place you can get them, which is Knife Center, at $199. This one can be yours. $150, like it is. $170 with my edge on it, but again, it's got a pretty nice sharpened edge. The Kizer KI4488E1 Sheepdog. Okay, it's watch time on the Apostle P channel. First, yesterday I told you we had 2.5 Seikos. Well, we got the half coming up first. From Island Watch Company of Long Island Watch and Smilin' Mark, we've got the ISL-07 automatic dive watch. This is an SKX an SKX style case, 316L stainless steel. You got your Long Island etch on the case back, which is a screw down case back. So we all know the dimensions, don't we? 43 millimeters in diameter, 46 lug to lug, 14 thick, 22 millimeter lug width. And this is wearing a very nice oyster style bracelet. Can't tell. Are they screws? Yes, they are screws. Screw links, solid end links. Milled and pressed clasp. Orange dial. And it's not a sunburst, but it's not matte either. It's got some reflectivity. I believe the glass is sapphire. The bezel insert is indeed ceramic. It's got a very quiet but very luxurious feeling 120 click unidirectional bezel. Lines up perfectly. It's a day-date Seiko NH36 automatic movement. Condition on this is, I'm going to call it very near mint. There might be some super fine hairlines here and there, but very nice. It comes with that bracelet, and that's the only bracelet for this one. I think one link has been taken out and it's in the box. This one is running about -8, -9 seconds per day, and that's me winding it up and setting it like that. So it might wear a little closer to 0 than that. These are discontinued and out of stock. When they were last available, they were $250 at Long Island Watch. This one can be yours, shipped priority mail, $215. The Islander ISL 07 automatic dive watch. Oh, next up. You know, I live about 12 miles from Turtle Town, USA, Cherubusco, Indiana. And it is turtle time on the Apostle P channel. I got a Seiko box. Inside it comes an SRP 05 Prospex turtle. This is kind of like the OG turtle, right? Matte black dial. 45 millimeters in diameter. Just 47 lug to lug on that cushion case. You get a dual row of gripper teeth on that bezel. The old school aluminum bezel insert. 120 click unidirectional, and I think this one lines up okay. It might be like a quarter click off. Day date, Hardlex crystal. This one is running about -9 seconds, and again, I wound it 24 hours ago or so and set it down like that. So it might wear a little closer to 0 as you have it. It is wearing a Miltat reed strap code J. Louis or Jubilee bracelet, which has got super nice drape, milled clasp, and as with most strap code bracelets, that detent's pretty stiff. Got what, 6 micro adjusts on that one? Pretty nice. I'm going to call it near mint in box. And it also comes with a Crafter Blue oh wait, that's the factory. That is the factory strap. It's got the Seiko Prospex Wave, but that appears to be a Crafter Blue keeper, not a Seiko keeper. So yeah. Okay guys, I just noticed something. I showed you the box for the wrong watch. This is the SRP 777 turtle. And so let's see. You know, these are kind of famous. They're kind of all over. And I know they sometimes sell for a little less than this in the secondary markets, but not with that bracelet, right? Maybe on a rubber. But we're going to do, on this super nice example, let's do 320. And I think that's probably, what, 80 or 90 bucks worth of bracelet. And you still get the factory rubber. So $320 on the SRP 777 turtle. Next up, and the last item in tonight's sale, this one is the SRP-05, SRP-E05, known as the Seiko King turtle. Some sort of improvements over the OG turtle, although this is also running the 4R36 movement. I got that green waffle texture dial, 120 click unidirectional bezel with a little sharper teeth than the standard turtle, and a ceramic bezel insert. This particular version of the King turtle has a gilt seconds hand and the chocolate bar magnifier over the day date. Looks like at 10:41 the date wheel is already starting to change. They take about 3 hours on these. Let's see, dimensions 45 by 47 lug to lug by 13 thick and a 22 millimeter lug width. This one, this 4R36 is running dead over the last 24 hours. I mean, dead on the money, like plus or minus 0 seconds. Don't know what it'll do on the wrist, but that's pretty good. Bezel on this one, pretty tactile, a little bit audible. And I think it lines up okay. Lines up perfect. The strap on this one is a Crafter Blue natural vanilla smelling rubber. Beautiful piece. Fitted ends, just beautiful. So let's see, near mint in box, some very fine hairlines, not really noticeable. These are running on various gray market web retailers have these selling between $435 and $500 new. We're going to do on this one $350. That's the Seiko SRP-E05 King Turtle. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the Apostle P channel. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. Now go get 'em, boys.